when you look at the whole market, I mean, it's really dominated by OpenSea. We all know that. We know that to be true. You know, you can kind of hop off and go onto different blockchains and things like that. But I think everybody is looking and waiting for that OpenSea killer.
Wait, 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 wait. You talking about the killer whale?
I mean, essentially, it would be a killer whale, right?
Yeah,
The open sea
it's an open sea, so you got a killer whale. You ever seen like a whale shark, like a real one?
is a whale. Wait, a whale shark is a real thing, right?
Yeah, it's a real thing, bro. It's crazy. Like whale sharks are like dope. Like I saw like I was in Cabo over the vacation and like yo, they really got these things called whale sharks and they're like real gangster. Like they like you gotta Google it. You gotta Google it.
A whale shark, huh?
A whale shark, man. It's a slow meeting. It's I mean it's a slow moving like whale. Like it's tight.
All right, let me Google this thing because now you had my attention. Now you piqued my interest, or you piqued my interest. Now you got
It's
my attention, my friend.
the thing is large though, which is crazy. Like it's slow, but it's large.
Oh yeah, that's definitely a shark and a whale got down and dirty one day.
Bro, like it's huge though. Like it's huge. And like you can go check them out like in Cabo and like it's just different.
All
Super
right.
different.
Well, this ain't the Animal Planet NFT podcast, so let's talk about these OpenSea marketplace killers. This is a great tweet I saw by our friend Maddie, the DCL blogger.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
There's ever an OpenSea killer, it will be built by active NFT traders slash investors. These are some of the features that he's looking for now: global bids,
Yep.
built-in rarity data,
Okay.
sales data, which I mean, OpenSea mostly has. Chat function, ability to leave a message. That's not a
Yep.
bad idea. Simple to use. I feel like OpenSea is decent, but I'm sure that somebody can make it simpler. Can take extreme traffic loads, definitely. Built-in whitelisting, built-in mint caps. What
Yep.
do you think about those?
Uh I'm into this. I think that like you know what tweet shows me is if I were working at OpenSea, I would look at what, you know, DCL blogger is posting because he's definitely a influencer and a tastemaker. And shout out to his project, the Meta Key. If you haven't, you know, gotten plugged in and seen what they're doing over there, you are missing out because I think the Meta Key is one of the more exciting and interesting NFT projects and communities in NFTs. And they're always doing something interesting and just like just generally fascinating. But beyond that, if I worked at OpenSea, I would be looking at that tweet and I would look at our roadmap. And if our roadmap didn't align with more than 80% of that tweet, I would ask myself why. And if there was demand that I saw within my own, you know, internal metrics, because Maddie doesn't work at an NFT marketplace, he doesn't run it. So maybe maybe the way he's envisioning it, only, you know, point one, like, you know how they said 9% of the collectors
Mhm.
own 80% of the value? Like maybe he's envisioning like as a part of that 9%. But that
Yeah.
9% I mean, they're a
It's
very
influential.
yeah, they're a very influential and authoritative community, but I don't think that that's how we're going to get to the next, you know, million wallets per se.
I
It's
think you're right. I think and Richard.eth has a great perspective on that. He says, feels like we're going to see a number of NFT marketplaces or OpenSea killers, but I think the real magic happens once we see verticalized marketplaces tailored towards specific communities and content types. I couldn't
I
agree with that
couldn't
more.
agree more. I agree 100% with that.
Yeah. And I mean, we are seeing it, right?
For sure, for sure.
You know, like just a few that we've been shouting out over the year or over the past, half year. Async art,
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
about
yeah.
programmable dynamic NFTs.
Yep,
X Tingles with their ASMR NFTs.
yep.
A new one that's everyone's really hyped for is Skin Flip, which is going to be just gaming NFTs. So all these
Okay.
different assets for games, and it's going to be blockchain agnostic, right? So like, I think we are starting to see those like very niche marketplaces, right? Where it's not like an eBay where you can find a little bit of everything everywhere.
Right, right,
Much more like Shopify's.
right. No, I think that that's the right way to think about it because you're gonna be able to do more, right? And like all of this stuff can bubble back up to OpenSea or your favorite, you know, market NFT marketplace. But in the beginning, like if you're trying to go and get users, you've got to appeal to different communities. And the same way that Facebook grew in the early days, where they started off with, colleges, legit universities. They were like, okay, we're going to get Harvard. Now we're going to go get Yale. Now we're going to go get Princeton and we're going to get Stanford, et cetera, et cetera. And then once they did the college circuit, they had the niche community there. They went and did the high school circuit. And then they started to expand it and it just kind of eventually, because you had college and high school, all of the parents that wanted to follow their kids in college started to get Facebook accounts, and it was a network effect. I think the network effect that is here with NFTs it is going to largely be found on the collector base, because if you're a collector and there's a utility there or there's some inherent value that you've seen, you're gonna stay. And I think that the most successful NFT projects, as we've talked about in the past, the value is driven by the community. If you don't have a community or you have a fleeting community, you barely have non-existing value. So we've seen those prices just take crazy downturns. And the thing about like just niche marketplaces is it allows you to keep the community contained.
Yep.
Like think about it like this. In Web 2.0 era, because everybody likes to hate on Web 2.0, we had the same thing pop off. What was SoundCloud?
It was basically everybody who didn't have a relationship with the gatekeepers, like the
Yes.
EMIs or whatever, or, the
Yes.
Atlantic Records.
Yes. Exactly. It was the unsigned hype. It
Yep.
was the Chance the Rappers before they were Chance. Right? Like you need a place for the underground to meet and convene, and that's where your community starts. You couldn't have a Chance the Rapper as you know him today without a SoundCloud.
So do you think OpenSea is like a SoundCloud right now?
Ah, that's a good question. That's a real good question. Nah, you know what sound you know what, if like, so for my music heads out there, they're gonna remember this, but like, I don't think OpenSea is SoundCloud. I think the taste level of SoundCloud was all over the place, but it was a little bit more refined. I think what OpenSea reminds me a lot of is Reverb Nation. I don't know if you remember that site. So Reverb Nation was
You
like
gotta teach me.
the precursor to even SoundCloud. It was like you were an underground artist, you would create a Reverb Nation profile, looked a little bit like a MySpace profile, but the cool thing is, imagine MySpace without top friends and all that good stuff, and it had like all your gigs, all your videos, all your songs, all your merch. It was all on one page. So it was like a website in a box for an artist or an electronic press kit for an artist, but it was all on one page. You could have your bio, your about page, all that stuff. And OpenSea reminds me a lot of that. Whereas like,
Huh.
you have like basically an electronic press kit for your NFT or for your collection profile, right in one, all in one. And there's it's very vanilla. Like, and that serves a purpose, right? So like whenever I do a new research on an NFT project or I want to see at scale what's going on, I go to OpenSea and I check it out. But when I'm if I wanted to go a level deeper or I wanted to see the community, I don't have that SoundCloud appeal where like, Reverb Nation, I could learn about the artist, but I couldn't really learn about the fans. On
Mm.
SoundCloud, I could learn about the fans because before the bots came, you could used to comment on a track. So if you said it was
Yep.
trash or this drop wasn't it, people would leave a comment right there on the waveform. And like,
At the timestamp, yeah, I remember that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and, like, that would transcend, like, generations because I could go back now 10 years later, 15 years later, and go look at the comments that, my 15-year-old self thought was dope.
Mhm. Huh, okay. Well, OpenSea killers, I think that they are coming, and I do think it'll be niche marketplaces.